What's up, YouTube? Today is Friday, July the 20th, and I had to come and check in with you guys today to discuss a couple of things. The first thing I want to discuss is that awful, horrible display of courtesy and or lack of courtesy and hostility towards none other than Judge Jeanine. I'm going to mess her name up. I'm going to call her P, right? Judge P. By Whoopi Goldberg and that horrible group of women on The View. So Judge Jeanine was invited to The View to discuss her new book, Leakers, Liars, and Liberals. And I don't think there was ever a question actually posed that was asked about her book. I mean, I'm an author. I've been interviewed before by some contributors for Huffington Post. And, you know, the line of questioning never kind of covered her book or what she, what it's about and her anger or anything. It was just kind of straight attack for the fact that they know that she is, friends with Donald Trump. She said she's been friends with Trump for 30 years. Okay? And, in that time, they were asking her about, they did ask her about her being, them looking at her to be a Supreme Court judge. They were prying for that kind of information. There were some sly comments, but most of the time, there was a question asked, and when Jeanine went to go answer the question, she was attacked. Or before she could even get her words out to answer the question, they were attacking her. They did not allow her to get anything out. And at one point in time, she did accuse Whoopi of having Trump derangement syndrome. Because, Whoopi on the show, she has this thing where she doesn't refer to him, she doesn't refer to our president by name. She calls him 45. That's how she refers to the president. So anyhow, Jeanine accused her of having Trump derangement syndrome, and she got triggered. She started flipping and then all of a sudden it was like, get out of here, get off my stage. So she kicked her off the stage. So she was invited on, and then she was kicked out because, she didn't like the way it was going. At one point in time, there was a time where Jeanine actually, if you listen to the interviews, this is when the cameras was off, nobody was recording. She had taken her mic off, like she was done with the set. And, she did this before Jeanine even got up and left the stage. So this was Whoopi saying, I'm done, I'm done. And she ended up going down the stairs, leaving wherever that was, off the set. And when Jeanine is coming down the steps, she is like, Whoopi's at the bottom of the steps, like how intimidating, like she's standing there, like, yeah, ready to confront her. And she tells her, F you, get the F out of here. And she's yelling at her, even barking at her as Judge Jeanine is trying to leave. Now, Jeanine said she did make this statement, but Whoopi wasn't open into listening. She was just so full of rage and anger that she's yelling at Judge Jeanine. So I am so sorry that happened to the judge, because she didn't deserve that. I mean, why invite this woman here so you guys can try to chew her out? It was nasty. It was ugly. And it just speaks to this very rigid political climate that we are in. It's dangerous. You do have to sit down and talk to people that you don't like. You do have to sit down and have to share views, perhaps at some point in time, with people who have different points of view. That's just the way the world works. It's crazy if we think that we're only going to affiliate and associate with people that look like us, that think like us, that speak like us. I mean, I don't know. It puts us into the whole tribalism or cults. We're like cults now. But it's crazy. The climate is crazy. And it also made me think about, my last video that I did. My last video, why Bernie, why Trump? Now, this was me, trying to give, a little bit more information to my viewers, or the ones at least that asked, who wondered about why I supported Bernie. And so for the most part, I focused on policy. But I did have a couple of you, socialists, communists, and all these crazy things you started shouting out about Bernie. It's like the minute I mentioned Bernie, socialist, communist. Maybe that is what he is. But what does that have to do with policy? That has absolutely nothing to do with policy. My point in that video was saying that Trump and Bernie Sanders both were against the TPP, okay? And when Trump ended up winning the election, he stood to that same policy position, which was he stopped the TPP from going through. He understood the ramifications, what it meant, and because of his position on TPP, that's why he carried states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, 3 blue states, 2 of which that Bernie Sanders won back in the 2016 primary. Bernie Sanders won Wisconsin. Bernie Sanders won Michigan. Why? Because of his message to working class voters, Rust Belt voters. They were concerned about their jobs leaving. They were concerned about more jobs being gutted out by a passing of the TPP. Okay? So there, they were on the same field there. Okay? That was my point. And we got to stay away from the names. So you're doing with the, with the throwing the names around. If we're going to be bringing people together, you have a unique opportunity. As conservatives, as Republicans, you have a unique opportunity right now to pull people in to have a unifying message that will get people on your side, if we want to call it a side. I just say, to sanity. But you're not going to get it by yelling at people and calling them names. Okay? I specifically was just talking about where I stood and why. Policy. And I hope more of you guys will focus on policy and not labels. Let's get away from the labels. We can have a much more intelligent, much more productive, progressive discussion if we only focus on policy. Because we know that the media is not giving Trump a fair chance. They are not going to allow the world to know that this man is actually doing something good. So I encourage you guys, all you folks who are on social media, who are doing YouTube videos, let's talk about Trump's policies and why they are good for everyday American people. I think the more we do that and the less we do calling people names, I think we're going to get really further. And I think it brings people together. You have to have a message that brings people together. But once you label people, people just tuck themselves away. And it's like, okay, we have to stop doing that. Stop. Bernie Sanders being a socialist or a communist has nothing to do with the position that he stood on as it relates to the TPP. Okay? I don't care. I don't care. I was just giving a video to say why he appealed to May Shala from Brooklyn. Okay? That's it. That's it. So moving on from there, I really, really hope that they invite some conservatives on The View. I really hope they go and do that because conservative women deserve to be on there. Not just Ann Coulter, because they have Ann on there. No, they think she's crazy. Woo, it's starting early. They need to have some conservative women on The View. Okay? Even if it's like Carol M. Swain. I hope I said her name right, from Prager. I've seen some really good videos with her. I think they're too scared of Candace. Candace is probably a little too gangster for them. A little too vocal. Speaks a little too well. And she'll probably dominate, and they don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want people that look like Candace or people that look like me. They don't want people like that on a show like that. So, anyhow, man, listen, it was ugly. It was ugly. You don't ever invite people to your damn house and then all of a sudden you don't like what they have to say. You don't like what they have to share and you curse at them and tell them to get the F out your house. Who does that? Who does that? Apparently, crusty old Whoopi with her no eyebrows having self, that's what she did. And that was ugly. And Judge Jeanine deserves an apology. That was really, really ugly. You have to check it out to see what happened, but it was ugly and uncalled for. Okay? And there are so many forces that are pushing back, against conservative values, against conservative viewpoints. And it's crazy. I mean, it's chaos out here. All I'm saying is for you good Christian loving conservative people, we don't want to bother nobody, okay? We don't want to infringe on anybody's freedoms. But if we want to bring people in, we want to bring them to the table, we gotta represent ourselves to be sanity. We have to do something different than what they're doing. We can't, of course, if it's time, when it's time to get in there and throw them bowls, then we will. But right now, we have to listen. Ooh, sorry. Pulled my earring off. We have to listen. And we have to be mindful of others. We have to be mindful of their feelings. Because, we know that they're full of feelings. And we got to bring it down. We got to bring it down. Because remember, the trust is not there. But if you're being truthful and you're being honest and straightforward with people, you can bring people to the table. But you're not going to do it by calling them names, okay? Not at all. So, in moving forward, I would love to hear more policy, Trump's policies. Let's just focus on those things. I do hear it spoken about probably from when I watch some folks on some news channels. Obviously, not the other side. But, just good, honest discussion. That's it. That's it. And people will walk your way. They will talk your way. So let's just love, let's show love and kindness and kill them with kindness and respect. And people won't have anything else to do but just, come your way. It's like that. All right. So with that said, guys, you guys have a great Friday. I am. And I'll see you guys for the next video, whenever that is. All right? Ciao, Bella. Bye-bye.